Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show tonight. Hopefully you can hear me. I can see there's a few jumping on here already. The side chat's beginning to pop already. That's really good. Gonna run through quickly. I can see who's on here tonight. Look, here's it. So Viejo Walter was on first. Good to see you, Walter. Dale Pogue, Gene, reload from Hot Pot with us. Lakeview Outdoors, good to see you guys. Peterson Farms in Nashville, Phil's with us. Andre D'Angelo has jumped on. Bobby Barlow, good to see Bobby. Duffer 426. Ron Wayne is with us. Hi guys. Dwayne 7834. So 3 Jeep Discoveries with us. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Mark Thomas has jumped on. Good to see you, Mark. So tonight, we had, over the last few weeks, I've had quite a few new people jumping on and people thinking about reloading, and a couple of messages come through. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm just going to run through and I'm going to start the process of getting 308 brass ready for reloading. So this is actually Lake City brass, so it's military brass and it's got the crimp on it. So I thought if I run through doing it with 308, it would be the same process with 223 as well, or 556. So I thought I'd go through and show you my process of how I get this from a fired piece of brass ready to load. We're going to do the deprime it, clean the primer pockets. We're going to remove the crimp. We're going to do a size, and we're going to trim and then deburr the top. So it'll be the whole process from fired brass that you bring back from the range. The only thing this has been done is been cleaned, and then we'll go through how I do it, the tools I use to get this ready. So I thought I would do that tonight, and if some of those new guys jump on, and it'll give them an idea of what we need to do from basically from start to finish. Dwayne 7834 has joined us. Shane Boyle has come on. Good to see you guys. Misty Mrs. Wayne has joined us. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And again, we're going to do our little draw a little bit later. So I'll go through it later, but I can show you again, guys. Got a couple of stickers. We're going to do the channel sticker. I got this FN sticker. Pocket screwdrivers. We always got the pocket screwdrivers going here. Magnetic top flat, and we've got the wraparound koozies. Have them on your bottle or on your can, and it's just hashtag Mac 25. We're up to 25. I can't believe I've done 25 shows already. So we're up to Mac 20 hashtag Mac 25, and that'll get you in the draw. Okay, I set that up so it'll start collecting numbers. They're going in there as well. That's great. So let's start. So like I said, we're gonna take some 308 military brass with a crimp on it. It's been fired, and I shoot this through my Springfield M1A, and it does ding the necks quite a bit. So in the sizing process, we're going to have to make sure that takes it out. You can see there quite a heavy ding, but that's coming out from that from a Springfield M1A, and it tends to bang the necks a little bit. So let me just move the camera to start with, guys, over here, and we can start the process off. A lot of you guys already know about this and do it yourselves, but I just thought I'd do it tonight. And so if there's any of the new guys jump on, they can see how we do it and how the process is. my phone on here as well so I can keep an eye on the comments coming in if there's any questions. Okay, so my first process, basically my RCBS press here is what I call my dirty press. This is where I do my depriming, pulling bullets, anything like that, anything where it needs to be, where it gets a little bit dirty. So I've got this press set up for that. T7 obviously we just use for loading, and on the other press is loading, but this is my dirty press. So I've got the threads removed, or I should say I've threaded in the Hornady lock and load system. You can see that there. This is just a universal depriming tool from Dylan. All it does is going to pop the primer out. And this is just on the quick release. I really like this system. You can just drop it in, lock it in, and it's done. And then when we want to change the die out to put the sizing die in, I can just turn it like that, and the sizing die is in and all ready to go. So you can buy this insert for the RCBS. I think I picked this up from Midway. So you can buy this so you can start using this quick release lock and loads from Hornady, which makes it really nice. So like I said, the first process we're going to do is just going to pop it in, pop the primer out. You can see in there how dirty it is in there. And then I use my Sinclair primer pocket unifier and cleaner. So we can just put these in a couple of turns and it goes nice and clean. It's quite a large flash hole on this Lake City brass, but you can see it's nice and clean there. So we'll go through and we'll do these first. So pop the primer out. Turn this a little bit more around here. Pop the primer out. Clean the pocket. All nice and clean in there. Hope everyone's had a great day and a great weekend. It's been really warm here again. I think we hit 115 or 116 today. And it's dry. It looks like the monsoon has moved out again. We just got dry air in here. So we're not having much chance of rain at the moment. So the temperatures are staying high. Fire danger is still high. So we can't get out to the deserts and do any shooting. I'm itching to get out. I know I could go to my normal range, but they're a little bit funny about filming up there. So I'd rather wait until the deserts open up so I can get out there and do as much filming and as much shooting as I can. Just have a quick look at my phone. Has anybody else joined us? Bubba Triclops has joined us. Good to see you. Gun website. I thought I saw another one in there. Mark's Trapping and Outdoors has joined us. Good to see you guys. Really appreciate you jumping on. Hopefully you can take a little bit from this tonight. Like I said, this is my way of what I do. There's other ways of doing all this. You just got to find your groove and where you want to be with it. You can see this tool works really nice, just cleaning out the pocket. Let's just go through and do a few more, and then we can go on to the next step. And hashtag Mac25 tonight, guys, to get in the prize draw. We've got it set up and it's already counting names. And for you guys jumping on, guys, I keep saying guys and ladies, and I know there's ladies out there. I do apologize for not say ladies all the time as well. So this is my RCBS press, my dirty press. This is where I do all my depriming on, bullet pulling, anything that makes a mess. It all gets done on this press. We've got one more to do and we can go on to the next stage then. We're going to be removing the crimp off these with the RCBS little crimp tool that I use. And we're going to be using the Ellie Wilson case trimmer tonight. So there you go, nice and clean. So once I've deprimed them, cleaned the pockets out, I can just remove this universal deprimer, and then I'm going to drop in I have this one is a Dillon 308 full length sizing die. Again, I can just pop that into the top, it locks in and it's ready to go. Before we size, we're going to drop it all into my little tub where we're going to lube them up. And I like to use the Dillon case lube. I've had real good luck with this stuff. So I'm not even going to try and use anything else. I've had good luck with it. So a couple of squirts, shake them around, and they're all nicely lubed up. Leave them a second or so just to dry off a little bit. Check if there's any other questions in there. Edward Petty has joined us. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so now 308 shell holder, 308 full sizing die. We've removed the primer, cleaned the pockets out, and now we can set it up and we can size it. And you can see it now has uniformed the neck. Those dings are coming out. I'm just going to wipe them off, wipe a little bit of this lube off. And there you can go. I got the case gauge. Now this drops in just below the top surface, but above the lower surface. So we're smack on there. You can see that's absolutely perfect. So put that to a side for a second. Let's get the next one. You can see that one's got quite a ding in the neck. And there we are. It pushes it out perfectly. It sizes it. It's full length size. This is taking it back to factory, or to the Dillon dies factory setting. I don't believe these have been fire formed in my rifle yet. I can't remember if these have been shot through my rifle or if this one that I picked up and got them ready to go into the rifle. So I'm not going to be messing around too much with it. If you just look on the neck there, let me see if I can get this up. So there's a little ding right in that top of that neck, right in the middle of the screen there. Hopefully you can see that. So this one I'm going to cull, guys. I don't like the dent in it. It's coming down into the neck a little bit. I've got plenty of brass. That's going to go in my scrap brass. If there's anything on these pieces of brass when you're going through that you don't like the look of, guys, just throw them away. Because you'll always pick up more 308 brass from the range. There you go. You're never going to get short of brass, so if you're not happy with it, just get rid of it. There you see it's taking it out nice, cleaning them all back up. So once we've done a few of these, we'll go on to the next step over there where we'll cut the crimp off. show you the setup that I use for cutting the crimp off, and then we'll trim to length. We'll trill them to the excuse me, to the factory spec from the lineman book, which I believe is 2.005 trim length on these. So we'll go through and do that as well. So you can see perfect head, sized, deprimed and clean. Once these have been, I know these are been fire foamed to my rifle, I won't be using this setup or this die to size them in the future. I'll be over on my zero press, and all I'll be doing is neck sizing and bumping them back, bumping the shoulder back. And with the semi-automatics, I bump my shoulders back 4 thou. With my bolt action, I bump them back 2 thou, and I'm only neck sizing. And obviously then we're getting, everyone is getting annealed. Every time I fire around, when it comes back, it's going to get annealed. So these will get fire foamed next time. I'll bring them back, deprime them, clean the pockets. Then they'll go in the dry tumbler to get them clean, get all the lube off them, and then we'll anneal them before doing the sizing process. So we'll take it back to nice and soft, the factory spec. There you go, we've got one more to do. Okay, now we can drop it in the case gauge, and there you go. Below the top, but just above the groove, and you can see they just fall out. So there you go. 12 pieces of brass, deprimed, pockets cleaned, sized, ready to be the crimp removed, and then the trim doing. So we'll move this over to the other bench now, and I'll show you the setup I use for removing crimp. Sorry about the camera moving all over the place, guys, but I want to get this so you can see it. Okay. So how I've got my setup for removing the crimp, I got this old vise, which I picked up in a garage sale, picked it up pretty cheap. And then I bought the framework that it's sitting on from Harbour Freight. It's actually a grinder stand, so you can actually bolt a grinder to it. But I bought my vise to it, and it works perfectly for doing this job, holding blocks when I'm building guns, all sorts of things. So it works out well in here, and it's easy to move around. The vise itself is a little bit heavy, but the whole thing moves around pretty good, pretty easily. Tommy Boy joined us. Good to see you, Tommy Boy. Bamba Dad is with us. Thanks for joining us, guys. I really appreciate it. Let's go down here quickly. So Bamba Dad, question. Okay, got a question for you experts. What would your choice be between the RCBS Rock Chucker and a Redding Big Boss 2? What size of round you're going to be going up to, Bamba? That'll determine whether the Rock Chucker will work for you, or if you need to go to a Big Boss, if you're going to be loading some of the bigger cartridges, like 338, 300 Win Mag, 7mm mag. it might be beneficial to move to the bigger press. Hillbilly Up has joined us. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. The T7 is also a great press, Bamba. It's a great all-round press. You'll probably, and then you'll have the 7 turret top on it as well. So he's saying 308 7mm PRC. So the red in the rock chucker will work on my side. The red in T7 or the Big Boss. I would probably go for the red in T7 if you wanted multi-turrets, or if, like I said, if you were just going to go straight forward single turret, the Big Boss or the red in one would be fine. It's down to if you can get any of them on promo as well. And if there's anything, he says he has a T7 looking for a single stage. Could be down to, as Tommy Boy goes with the cheaper one, or if something's on promo, go for that. Okay. So for me, the way I get rid of the crimp, there's various different options out there. I really like this option. This is the RCBS crimp remover, and it actually cuts the crimp away. And the shell comes down and hits the flat, so you can't go too far. So you just push down on it, cuts the crimp nice away, nice and clean, and it hasn't pushed the brass anywhere. I've seen the ones like the Dylan ones where they force the brass and it sort of pushes and opens it all out. I've never liked the idea of that. I know a lot of people do it, and it probably doesn't do any harm, but I'm just in the fact where you're forcing that brass out, you're stretching everything. I prefer just to cut it off with a crimp, with this cutting tool, and it's done. So I just mount it in my press. It just sits in the drill, and you saw there's it just sits in the vise. And what I like to do is, it's not the safest, but I put a little zip tie onto the trigger, and I can govern the speed of the trigger of the drill, so I'm not having to hold the trigger down. It just sits there. I like it sticking straight up in the air, so it's going to get a little bit noisy, guys. I'm just going to plug this drill in. So you can see it's set up, it's spinning. I'm going to put a pair of gloves on, because at the end of the day, a little bit of safety. So if you do slip or bang or something, you've got a pair of gloves on where you're not going to hurt yourself on this spinning. Safety glasses as well. Always wear the safety glasses. So all we're going to do, and if you can see that in there, there is a crimp on there at the moment. And all I do is I just sit it on the top there. Couple of seconds on there, off it comes. And if you look there now, you can see it's removed the crimp, and you can see that nice little funnel edge all the way around the top where it's done. And then the next one, just hold it with a glove, you just sit it on there, turns a little bit, and it's cutting the crimp off. Really nice. And once you get into the routine of this, just hold it, cut it, and away. And this will work, like I said, on your 223, you just get a different cutting head for it. And you can see how quick it's removing that crimp. You can get through a piece of brass every 2 or 3 seconds. try and get this done as quick as I can because it is a little bit noisy. And here's the last one going through now. We just unplug the drill. There you go, 12 pieces cut. And you can see its crimp has totally been removed. You've got the nice little funnel on the top, ready to take the primer. 12 pieces in no time at all. And then if you look around the, let's just bring you in here, you can see, you can just see the little pieces of brass here and on the back of the drill where it's been cutting the crimp off. It does a really nice job. And like I said, if you've got a little setup like this where you've got your vise, and there you go, there's the cutting head for you guys. So like I said, RCBS make them on the side there. So you can get them for $308 and you can get them for $556. Well worth it. I much prefer this setup than where we force in the brass. So I can move that over here now. I'll just go through to the comments and then we'll go on to the next section. Just get a drink here. So Thorax has joined us. Good to see you. I said hi to Mark Thomas, I think. Crazy Gearhead is with us. So Bubba's got a question. What do we got here? So here's a question or two. Carbide dies don't need lube except for the shouldered brass, right? Or second question, I accidentally tumbled brass after depriming it. Can I salvage this? Am I good? That's really when you want to, once you deprimed, what you want to do is you want to deprime, clean out the pockets, and then tumble them. The only downside, sometimes you can get some of the media stuck in the flash hole. I use a very, very fine media. I buy it from Granger, and I never have the problem with it sticking in the flash hole. It's very, very fine, and it does a really good job. So cleaning after it is not going to be an issue. Carbide dies, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't matter what dies I use, whether they're steel or carbide, I always lube, just in case. Some people might say you don't need to do it. I just lube them. I'm going to lube them, do the whole process, and then I'm going to put them in the dry tumbler to clean them for the final step anyway. So I would always lube them, especially your bottleneck stuff, because the last thing you want one is getting stuck or breaking in there. So just put a little bit of lube on them, like I showed you earlier, just a little bit of spray lube. Dwayne says, that's good information on the crimp tool. Mine just pushes it back. Thanks. Yeah, you can buy them in most stores. I think I bought it from my local gun store. I bought 2 of each, so if they were to wear out, I'd have a spare one. But I have never had an issue with them. They can buy them online, and it's a great little tool. Bamba Dad says, gloves are a must. After 1,000 rounds, your fingers are sore. It does. And it does wear through the gloves as well. You'd be surprised. Where are my gloves? So you can see here what it does to the gloves on the thumb and on the two fingers that you're holding the brass on. It eventually wears through. And these are actually fabrication gloves, and they work quite strong. But it wears through anyway. So if it's wearing through the glove, you're going to wear through your fingers, and you're going to have blisters. So it's always good to have gloves doing this job, safety-wise. Plus, it saves a lot of blisters and things. Let's look back. What else we got here? Crazy Gearhead, I think I said hi to earlier. Tommy Boy says you don't need to lube, but it really does help with pistol brass as well. Yeah, I'd always lube because you're going to clean them anyways afterwards. So I always tend to lube them just for the sake. And then rifle, you have to use lube. And there you go, Tommy Boyne saying there. Any bottleneck cartridges, you're going to want to lube. And it makes it a bit easier. If they're going in dry, even with a carbide die, they get a bit stiff and a bit sticky. So I'd always lube them just to make it a little bit easier and let everything flow through. And then Tommy Boy says, I tumble my brass several times first, then get it in size, and then after trimming as well. So once the whole process is done, the last process is to finish up, clean them, get them tumbled, and they're good to go. Crazy Gearhead says, I use the RCBS crimp remover on the lineman case. Prep Center works great. I think that's very similar to what we're using here, I believe, isn't it? Isn't it it's like a little cutting tool that you just push the brass down onto. I think I got one of those lineman ones over there, and I believe it comes with a very similar tool. But these RCBS ones seem to cut a little bit better. Small and large crimp removers, about 2 bits each on Amazon. So Mark Thomas saying you can find them on Amazon. So don't forget, guys, hashtag Mac25 will get you in the draw. And we'll do that draw a little bit later. I can get that moved. Okay, so this is going to be the little setup that we have for trimming for trimming it, for case trimming. So hopefully I can get this all set up, and I'll show you how I do the setup. So this is the Ellie Wilson case trimming tool, and it's the one with a micrometer on it. Hopefully you can see this, guys. See if I can just bring this in a little bit more. Okay, so you can see it's got the micrometer adjustment on the back here. The little holder to hold the whole thing in place. And I have put the little screw gun adapter on this. So instead of using it by hand, we can just put it straight onto the power screwdriver. So what you're going to need, this is an Ellie Wilson case holder, and it's for fired brass. And what you're going to do is you're going to get your piece of brass, and it just slots into the case holder. It holds it in place. I just give it a little tap just to hold it, and then that actually sits there, and we're going to set it up to cut. So let's measure this first to see what this one is. I'm going by the lineman book. They want a measurement of 2.05. And that one is 2.05. That one doesn't need trimming, so that one can come back out. So that one's good, finished, ready to go. Oh, they're all going out. That one's short. That one's 2.00, so that one is not going to need trimming. I hope some of these need trimming. I didn't. So that one is 2.008. So what we're going to do is we can put it into the holder, give it a little tap. We can just sit it in, just put the tool onto it. We can still adjust it, and it still moves forward. And then what I'm going to do is, with I've got a little screw gun, just mount straight onto the back. And all I'm going to do first is I'm going to be turning this slow, and I'm going to bring this down just to contact the brass. So you hold this forward so it's in place, spin it up. And I'm turning there. Okay, and I'm just hitting, I'm hitting the brass there now. So, and there you go, 2.005. So that's been trimmed down. And all I'm going to do when I get the little, I don't even know what to make, oh, this is an RCBS little deburrer. So you can just take the little bit off the inside and a little bit off the outside. And then if you can see that, it's brought it up nice and shiny where it's cleaned the inside up for you and the outside. It's 2.05, just needs a little tap just to get it out of the holder. And there you go, finished piece of brass. Deprimed, pocket cleaned and uniformed, sized and trimmed, deburred, and we removed the crimp. So there's the whole piece of brass all done. Let me just see if there's any more questions I can look at, guys. Tim McDowell has joined us. Good to see you. Just going down to see if there's anybody else here. James Pollard has joined us. Good to see you, James. Thanks for joining us. Thorax is out there. Rich B is out there. Good to see you. Larry Dotson. I hope that's I pronounced that right. Good to see you. And hope you can take a little bit from this. And Thorax saying Ellie Wilson is precision stuff. Never wasted money with their tools. I really like that, the Ellie Wilson stuff. Like I said, you can buy it, get the little stand, and then just mount it. I just, like I said, I mount mine on a piece of wood, and I got it screwed down onto my T-rails here, so I can take this on and off. But it's a great little trimming tool. James Paula said, my chamfer and deburring tool is a Pacific brand. That says how long I've had it. If you look after your stuff, it's going to last you a lifetime. This carbide stuff just keep on going. I just have a drink here. Okay, let's get another piece done. So now this one is 2.011. So again, we just drop it in the case. A little tap, push it up against the tool so it's all the way back. We haven't adjusted the micrometer at the moment. We'll run another piece, and if it comes out perfect again, I will just nip this bolt down to hold it in place. So this one is still needs 2 thou. So I'm just going to turn this just a touch more. 2 thou on there. .006. So it needs just a touch more. .005. So with the Allen key, I'm just going to nip this down. Doesn't need to be super tight. It's just so it doesn't move when you're using it with your hand. Again, the little deburring tool, you can just see it just goes in. You can see at the moment it's, as you can see that it's a little bit rough on the end. We can just go into the center, a couple of little turns with that. You can see that's shined that up, taking it all off, and then the outside. There you go. You can see the outside now. It's been deburred and chamfered, and at 2.05, so that piece can come out. And again, once you get into a flow with this, guys, goes in, everything's locked up. You bring the drill forward. Just a touch over 2.05 and a little bit, so we're almost there. We're well under where we need to be. And then a quick clean up. And there you go. See, it's all nice. And then just a little tap just to get it out. Let me see if there's any other questions come out. So Bambadad says, I have the RCBS deburring and chamfer tool. It's stamped Ellie Wilson. So is mine. I don't know why you can see it on there. See if you can see that. So it's got made for, oh, there you go, made for RCBS by Ellie Wilson. That's what it's got written on this one, made for RCBS by Ellie Wilson. So that's maybe what you're seeing as well. Richard B says, reloading is new to me. Once I figure out the equipment I need to invest in and get set up, would recommend starting with 357 Magnum or 223 556. You start with the main one that you want to shoot, Rich, and just get in and play about, make some dummy rounds up, make sure they cycle in your gun, and you'll be good to go. And Tommy Boy says, components are cheaper for 223 if you were buying instead of making them, like a lot of us are. Yeah, so you, instead of maybe going straight to 308, 223 will be a good option because they are cheaper to load. Doug Thomas has joined us. Good to see you, Doug. Thanks for joining us. Okay, let's get some more of this done while we're here, and then we'll go on and we'll do the prize draw and have a chat at the end. So quick trim, quick deburr and dechamfer, 2.005. So this machine is, like I said, once it's set up, it's really, really consistent. Easy to go through. You can get a lot of brass done. I would normally I'd trim all my brass first and then I deburr it afterwards and go through in lots. But being we're just doing a few pieces here, we can do it all in one process so you can see how it works. There we go. So hashtag Mac25 tonight, guys, to get you in the prize draw. So if you want to go ahead and do that to get yourselves in the prize draw. And once we finish doing these last few pieces, we'll go in and we'll do that. Let's see if I can bring this down so you can actually see the cut-in part of this. So you can see there that the brass is there, and then the tool is going to come through. You can just see it there. And it hits a stop over here. So you can't go, once this is set up, the only adjustment you can have is right on the very back. I've got it zoomed in a bit, so it's hard to see me doing this. But another one close up so you can see the cutting tool working. So again, just pops in, I slide it straight back, bring the little lever just to hold her in place.
a lot of these are very close to the mark, or even a little bit under. So some of them aren't even taking any brass off because they're under the 2.05. But you can see how the setup works, how quick and easy you can go through it. See, that one just took. I need to zoom back out, it won't focus. So you can see there it's trimmed and it's just leaving just a little rough. So just to deburr it. And then do the chamfer as well, all in one process. And there you go, just a little tap on the block and out she comes. And then we've got one more to do, guys. And there you go, it's as easy as that. A little bit of a clean there. That one's done. Tap it out, put that aside. Check the measurement. Yeah, 2.03. So it was just under. It touched it a little bit. But there you go. So that's basically, I've done 12 pieces of brass from start to finish. So we've done they'd already been cleaned beforehand. So you saw the process of depriming, cleaning the primer pockets. They're all nice and clean, they're uniformed. We sized. We then removed the crimp, and you can see if I can angle this enough that you can just about see the little funnel on the top. And then we trimmed and deburred and chamfered. So basically start to finish, and what I'll do with these now, these are going to go into the tumbler. So these are going to be cleaned. The final step is going to go into the tumbler, finish off running for an hour or so. And then they're ready to go in the box and ready to be loaded. Just check any more. So Tommy Boy has said here, I'm at the point I'm scrapping 762 brass. No one wants them. Same as 9mm and 223 brass. All go to the scrap bucket. To be honest with you, Tommy, I like to shoot this 762 brass through my M1A, my Springfield MOA, because it's pretty rough on brass. And with this being a little bit stronger, a little bit thicker, I think it's going to hold up better. Because I know I've used Winchester brass before, and I've had case separations. Even though that the head space and everything is fine, I've had a couple of the Winchester crack around the base here. So I've never had a military piece of brass crack on me using it in my M1A, so I tend to use the military brass just in that. Everything else is normal commercial 308, but I do like, I must admit, I do like to use military in this. James Pollard, who makes that trimmer? It's Ellie Wilson. It's an Ellie Wilson setup. You can buy the stand, the tool. You can either buy it with or without the micrometer. Depending how much precision you want, I would recommend buying the micrometer adjustment at the back, and obviously then buying the adapter to take the screw gun rather than a little hand winder. If you're doing a lot of brass and just turning your hand all the time, that gets tiresome. So it's much easier, much quicker if you can put the screw gun on there. So there's a couple of little adapters you can get to do that. And then Bamba Dad says, I guess something is wrong with me. I really enjoy prepping brass. I find it rewarding and relaxing. I'm exactly the same. I love the whole prepping, going through the whole setup of prepping different brass and then the loading setup. It's all part of the whole process that we do for reloading. And I really enjoy it as well. I get a good buzz out of it. And I can sit out here and do hundreds of rounds. Doug's saying he enjoys prepping brass as well. And he's saying it goes in filthy, comes out shiny and new. You see the rewards of your labor. Yep, that's what it is. And Tommy's boy saying trimming is the worst thing I like to do. I just trim just under spec, so I don't have to trim for several load-ins. It is a little bit repetitive, but again, like I enjoy doing it. Gene saying, everyone see that? Send all your brass to Bamba Dad for prepping. Be sure to include a prepaid tag so you can send it back. Yeah, he can do all the prepping for us. Duffer says he doesn't mind prepping. Thorax says, nice work, Mark. And he says, I keep the 308 winches of brass, just not the 762. Tommy Boy is saying. Petra 1117 has joined us. Good to see you. And he's thrown out, I've had a hard time finding 308 brass. Any help would be appreciated. If you get hold of the one below you, Petra, Gene from Reloading from the Hot Pot, he actually works in a gun store where they do and they sell brass. And I bet you he can get you some. He'll get you some 308. He's probably got plenty on the shelf. I'm saying that because it's thing, but I would suspect they've got plenty of 308 sitting there. So if you want to get a hold of Gene Reloading from the Hot Pot, I'm sure he could help you out and point you in the right direction. Thorax says, haha, Mac, an M1A is kind of a brass eater. It goes with owning one. It is pretty rough. They throw it out hard. They all tend to dent up around the neck. But I love it. I've got a national match M1A in 308, and I love shooting it. It's a great gun to shoot. I have a lot of fun shooting it and really enjoy it. Tommy Boy says, if you want crimped 762 brass Mach 100, I'll start setting it aside and get it. I scrapped a 5-gallon bucket of it last week. I have got some up there, Tommy, but yeah, you certainly can. Let me know when you've got a couple of 100 rounds, and I can always give you something or trade something for you, and I'll pay for postage. You can send it out. I would appreciate that. Especially if it's Lake City. I like the Lake City. I tend to like the Lake City brass if you come across it. And there you go, Petra. He says, Republic ammunition. We have all kinds of it at reasonable prices. So I'll just leave that up there for a second. If you want to take that, check that out on the website, Republic ammunition. I'm sure you're going to be able to get some 308. Hi, CW. CW Longshot has joined us. Hello, everyone. Just getting sit down in the loading room. Thanks for joining us, CW. Really appreciate it. Petra says, sweet. And let's have a look. Andre D'Angelo is out there. Good to see you. Is there anybody else new out there? Chad Kelly. Good to see you, Chad. Driving home from the Freedom Farm. Obviously, he's been out shooting again tonight. Lucky pup. Larry Dotson has joined us. He's saying, what stainless steel case trim kit do you recommend? What
which stainless steel case trim kit do you recommend? So if you're talking about stainless steel, I don't know what you're asking there, Larry. Are you talking nickel plated pieces of brass cases? I'm not the right person to ask because I don't reload any nickel stuff. I keep it and send it out to people if they want it. I just basically do just brass. I don't do any of the stainless steel. James Paula says, my son's M1A leaves a dent in the case rim. Is that normal? They do. It's a really rough mechanism how it works. It works great. It's very reliable, but it's very rough on brass. It can mark the rim up. It can dent the neck a little bit. So it's pretty normal, James. I wouldn't. That's just how it is. Oh, Tommy says most of it is LC, and I agree. That's great. Let me know when you got a bit, Tommy, and we'll sort something out. Steve's Woodworking and Homestead has joined us. Good to see you. What do we build in? We just gone through. I know you're probably late joining us, but we went through the process of prepping, fired 308 military brass. There was Lake City brass. You went through the whole process of depriming, cleaning the primer pockets, removing the crimp, sizing, trimming, and deburring and chamfering. So we went through the whole. So the first, say, half an hour, 40 minutes of this video, if you want to go back and check it out, we'll go through the whole process of getting it ready to the point where it needs to be cleaned and then sized. So that's what we were, Steve. I'm good to join. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. Okay, just quickly go down. Okay, we come to the end. So we have 23 entries, guys. We got 30 on. So let me just quickly show you before we do the draw again. Just the common stuff that I'm giving away. Got a couple of decals or stickers. I got the Macman 039 Reloading channel sticker. I got the little FN sticker for you. We've got the Mac Tools pocket screwdriver. It's got my name and telephone number on. It's always handy. Little flat screwdriver, pocket clip on it, and a magnet on the top. And we got these are new, the Pin-Up Girls, which are really good. And it's the wraparound koozie. So you can just give it a quick flip and it just wraps around. It'll wrap around your can or your bottle, whatever you want to do. So that's what we're giving away tonight, guys. So there's a few little giveaways there. So we just leave it a couple more minutes and then I'll go in and do the draw. Let me just show you why you guys are on. I'm not going to touch it, but so this is the latest thing that I picked up. I'm just going to put it up there. So that there is a 1955 Ruger Black Hawk in 357 mag. It's the 3-screw model and it hasn't been updated or modified with a little plate. It's as it was back in 1955. It's in beautiful condition, I don't know if you can see it really well up there. But what's nice about this one is it's a first production run. They made 1,500 in the first production run of this, and this one is 1408. So it's still it's in that first round of production. I had a chance to get one, and I just had to pick it up. It was looking at it, it's hardly been shot. I can't wait to take this out and shoot it. And yeah, so it's like I said, it's probably the oldest firearm I have at the moment. Like I said, it's a 1955 first production run. So I was pretty lucky to get that. So I can see everybody is sending prayers and best wishes to CW. We're all thinking of you, CW. Dale Pogue, 76 High Boy would love that pistol. Yeah, I meant to send him some photos. I forgot to do it. I might have to do it. And when I do a little unboxing of it, Dale, I'll send him the link, and he can actually have a look at it, and I'll have a good video of it all the way around. I think he'll really like that one. Like you said, it's he loves his old Rugers. Okay, let me just go in here, guys. We'll go in and we'll do the draw. Let me get this set up. Let me go in and share the screen. Giveaway tool. Share. Okay, hopefully you can all see that. Good luck, everybody. I'm going to spin it up and we can see who's going to be the winner tonight. Tommy Boy. Congratulations, Tommy Boy. Let me put my email up for you because I know I haven't got any contact. I don't think I got contact details for you. So let me put my email up there. There you go. There's my email. So if you want to send me your contact details, I'll get these 4 little items sent out to you this week. And congratulations. I think it's the first time you won on my show. There you go. Let me just unclear that screen. There you go. So it goes quick, guys. That's an hour gone. And like I said, I try to keep my shows to an hour. I don't want to keep them running too long. So hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. It was just a little short run through on some prepping of this 308 brass. Like I said, we had quite a few new guys jump in lately, and a couple of guys coming in thinking of reloading. So doing this is pretty basic for us guys that have been reloading for a long time. But I think it's really good for the new guys that are thinking of coming in and reloading. We're here to help you. So if you can see how the process works, how I do it. There is other processes. You don't have to do it my way. This is the way that I find that I enjoy doing it, and it works out for me. You can always check out other videos on YouTube, and you can pick that one that suits you best, that you prefer to use. So I just like to show the way I do it, some of the equipment I've got, and hopefully it'll help you out. Dwayne says, excuse me, thanks, Mac Man. Enjoyed it as always. Well, that's all I want, guys. Is just I want to keep. I know some of it is repetitive. We see it over again, but with these new people jumping onto my streams and they're asking to see sort of the basics. That's what we're here for. We want to share it with all you new guys out there. We want to get as many new reloaders in, joining our community as well. So thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. And congratulations, Tommy Boy. You got those prizes coming to you once I get your email. Just a quick shout out. Wednesday night, Chris from the 740. Great channel. He does his stream on a Wednesday night. Thursday night, I'm normally on with Elliot AR Guns. He comes on Thursday night. Sometimes High Boy, 76 High Boy's on a Thursday night as well. Friday night, you got the great Georgia Shooting Connection. Superb panelists. They've always got 8, 9, 10 guys on there, and it's a really good show. And following that, you got Gizzard Gary. Gary comes on around about 9 or 10 o'clock after the Georgia Shooting Connection. And don't forget, Wednesday night, you got G23 comes on late afternoon, and Hillbilly Up show is fantastic. It's a great time on Hillbilly show, and we have Hillbilly show Saturday night. So if any guys want to jump onto those streams, so there's a few shout outs there for you guys. So Thorax just saying all good instructions and demonstrating the use of your tools, Mark. That's what I want to do. I just want to share what I've got, let you guys see it. And thank you very much, Larry, saying can't wait for the next stream. Mark Thomas, good stuff. Night all. Have a great week. Thanks for joining us, Mark. And thanks to everybody for joining me tonight. We've been on for an hour and 5 minutes. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your evening to join me. Hopefully you've taken a little bit from it. So have a great night, great rest of your week, guys. And if I don't see you before, I'll catch you all next Monday night for the next one. Great evening, guys. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next. Good night, everybody.